I'm Pastor Aaron Harrison. This video is about how you can keep more of your money by paying less in taxes. In this video, you'll learn tax saving strategies that are not only legal, but smart and ethical. Make sure you watch till the end because once I learned these tax hacks, I started saving thousands of dollars. Nobody likes paying taxes, but they are a necessary part of our society. However, that doesn't mean that you can't use the laws to your advantage. There are numerous legal avenues that you can take to reduce your tax burden. Do you think that it's fair for billionaires in America to pay a lower tax rate than those in the middle class? Warren Buffett famously stated that he has a lower tax rate than his secretary. The tax disparities that we have here in America are not fair, and many people have tried to get these loopholes closed, but to no avail. And I say, if you can't beat them, then join them, because we can use the same tax law that they use to pay less in taxes. Whether you're an employee, business owner, or just planning for the future, there's something here for everyone. And by understanding deductions and credits, I'll help you with strategies so that you can save more money. Disclaimer, I am not a tax professional. And the most important part of saving money on your taxes is finding an expert tax professional. You may not realize it, but many people lose out on a substantial amount of money simply because they do not have the right tax guidance. You pay more when you have the wrong person doing your taxes. Some people try to save a couple $100 and so they don't hire an expert and they end up losing out on thousands. An expert tax professional could be a game changer for you and your finances. Finding the right tax professional is not about finding someone who knows their way around a tax form. It's about finding an expert who specializes in a specific type of taxes that is relevant to your situation. This brings us to our first key point, specialization. A tax professional who specializes in a particular area of need is more likely to find you deductions and credits that is tailored specifically to your situation. For example, I'm a pastor, and for many people, it is challenging for them to do the taxes for different clergy members. But there are some people who specialize in taxes for clergy and can get me some special tax deductions. And that leads us to our second big benefit, maximizing our deductions and our credits. A true tax expert does not just fill in a blank, but instead they know the ins and outs of the tax code. That way they're able to identify opportunities that you have to save more money. So when you're choosing a tax professional, don't just go with the first name on the directory or the first person who pops up in your Google search. Don't go with that friend that you know or that family member that you grew up with or an associate or someone that was recommended to you. Instead, look for an expert that specializes in a specific type of income that you have. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture, the tax system itself. Understanding this is a key to helping you make informed financial decisions. So, how does our tax system work? The United States has a progressive tax system, which on the surface means the more money that you make, the more money you pay in taxes. But we know that there are many exceptions to that rule. The reason why those who are ultra rich are able to pay a lower tax rate than those who are in the middle class is because they understand deductions. And by understanding deductions, you can know how you can save money and pay less in taxes. When it comes to deductions, there are two paths that you can take. One is the standard deduction, the other is taking the itemized deduction. But understanding these two are essential for you to maximize your tax savings. First is the standard deduction. The standard deduction is a deduction that all taxpayers have access to. If you are single and just filing your taxes by yourself, then you get a standard deduction of $14,600. And if you are married and filing jointly, then you get an automatic deduction of $29,200. And what that means for single people is you will not be taxed on a little over $14,000 of your income. And for married filing jointly, you will not be taxed on $29,200 of your income. It's most beneficial for most low income earners to just go and take the standard deduction. And one of the benefits about the standard deduction is it's not a lot of work. You don't need a lot of paperwork. You don't have to keep track of all your expenses. All you do is go and take that automatic deduction. Now let's switch gears and look at itemized deductions. This path involves listing out specific deductible expenses that you've incurred throughout the year, and the goal here is to see if your itemized deductions are more than your standard deduction. So it's simple. You take whichever deduction adds up to more. If the standard deduction is $14,600 for a single person and you're single, and your itemized deductions are only $10,000, then you go with the $14,000. But if your itemized are $20,000 and your standard deduction is only $14,600, then you would go with the itemized deduction. The way that your income is classified drastically impacts the deductions that you are able to claim. For example, if you're a W-2 employee, which means you work for a job, then you cannot claim as many taxes as someone who is a 1099 employee or someone who is a contractor, or you cannot claim as much as someone who is a business owner. So some of the tax deductible items that works for a W-2 employee, a 1099 independent contractor, and a business owner are things like mortgage interest. So that's the amount of interest that you're paying on your home loan. So if you're paying a lot of money of interest on your home loan, then that could save you in your taxes. Another one is your educational expenses. Some educational expenses can be deducted from your taxes as well. In addition to that is your charity donations. When you give to a 501c3, a nonprofit organization, or a church, then that money is deductible from your taxes. And your state taxes are deductible from your federal taxes. So if you live in a state that is highly taxed, like me who live in California, then you can definitely use this. 1099 independent contractors and business owners have some access to deductions that W-2 employees do not. One of those is car expenses. You can write off your gas, your mileage, or even the car itself if they're used solely for business purposes. Another one is if you have a home office, then you can deduct a portion of your rent, your utilities, and even your home repairs. In addition to that, you can deduct supplies that you use, like your laptop, your internet, your phone bill. And in addition to that, you can also deduct business meals when you're meeting with a business partner or you're having a business meeting over a meal, then that is a deduction. You can also deduct travel expenses when you're going out of town, whether you need a rental car or it's gas or you need a hotel or a flight. You can deduct those expenses. You can also deduct subscriptions and memberships and even advertising costs that go with your business. So with the information that you have in this video, go consult a tax expert so that you can save money. And if you want to find more ways that you can save and grow your money, then watch the videos on my channel, which are all about financial literacy.